I'm always down for more adventures with my trusty Zubat, but I went into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl with a slight amount of trepidation. After Sword and Shield really failed to light a fire in me, I wasn't diving in with high expectations. That said, I still had the yearly urge to battle my way through the world of Pokemon. Either way, let's get into my thoughts on these remakes. First and foremost, there is something to be said about the presentation. Right from its reveal, it didn't quite feel right. Many people wrote it off as a visually weak entry, and I kinda have to agree. It really is. There is definitely some charm here, don't get me wrong, but if you compare it to its previously released counterparts, it kinda does come up short in many regards. There's a flatness to much of the game, particularly in the faces. Many of them are simple 2D on character models, and I couldn't stop noticing it. The chibi character models for the overworld quickly grew on me though, but it still left a bit to be desired. Then there are the towns themselves, which don't have much charm aside from a few. Perhaps this was out of trying to keep a strict adherence to the source material, but I can't say it was a good choice if it was. Then there are the battles. A lot of the assets are the same ones we've been seeing since Let's Go, and they're only serviceable in most cases. Of course it was expected, but it really feels uninteresting overall. Thankfully the trainers being visible and some more than usual interesting backgrounds are welcome. There are some neat things being done however, like in the lighting effects in the overworld at different times of day. Having a soft orange glow at dusk contrasted by middle of the night glows is really interesting and charming. Signs and windows give off a bit of glow, and reflective floors in the Pokemon Center have some much needed charm, while highlighting some visual inconsistency as a result. I'm clearly pretty down on the visuals of this game, but it's partly because of how I feel about Pokemon in general at this point. I keep feeling like they should knock it out of the park with a chosen visual style, but this one just comes across mostly as bland. Like I said, it has its own charms, but there really isn't much to write home here. Music, however, is somewhere I'll give this game a lot of praise. It's been a long while since a Pokemon game really had multiple tracks that stand out and catch my attention. These reworked tunes have a small variety of genres to set the tone too. I really enjoyed having some of these jazzy tunes coming from the game that fit the world really well. Of course, this is a remake, so the story hasn't changed from the old game. And it follows the usual Pokemon tropes too. We're tasked with setting out across the world to help a professor, while also battling other trainers, gym leaders, and of course, a nefarious group. It's the usual fare, but I admit it was great to have a more interesting villain group return compared to more recent entries. Still, because it's a remake, nothing has actually changed with the events or how they play out. It's all exactly the same. It fills its usual purpose and doesn't do much more. More interested fans will be happy to see that their favorite characters have returned, like Cynthia and more, to sweeten the deal. Gameplay too is a bit of a mixed bag. All the things you know and love about Pokemon's gameplay are here in full glory. We're still running around various fields, towns, and dungeons, catching and leveling our team, battling, and taking part in a number of side activities like the underground or contests. Everything from the original Diamond and Pearl have returned with little exception. Even things like day-specific Pokemon spawns have returned, much to my surprise and chagrin. It's an immensely faithful remake to the original game. However, this faithfulness is one of the game's weaknesses. So much has been done to remake the games literally that it forgets to enhance things as well. There are some quality of life changes that more modern entries have done, but in terms of its own changes, they're pretty few and far between. On the one hand, this game really nails all the points exactly as it should. On the other, it takes too few risks to shake up areas where it really would have been welcome. I will admit the first few hours of this game had me wondering if I even wanted to finish it. But as I kept playing, especially after beating the second gym, I kinda settled back into the flow of classic Pokemon, and I really started to enjoy the game for what it was. A no-frills classic style adventure. I'm not one of those people who thinks Pokemon needs a vast reimagining, and as a turn-based RPG lover, I really enjoy these games for what they've always been. That said, there's something missing here in this package. When you place it next to the other remakes, this one lacks a distinct personality of its own, both from a graphic standpoint and in the gameplay. The strict adherence to the generation is really praiseworthy, but seemingly came at the cost of making any real moves towards a game that can be called unique or memorable. Even if this was made by a different group than the usual, it's still a solid effort on all fronts. But without anything that makes it stand out in a significant way, I can't say that this is a must-play for those of us who played the original, or are a little burned out on the usual Pokemon experience. But if you've never played this generation of the games and are looking for a usual set experience, you won't be disappointed. This really is one of those games that you'll either love or be quite indifferent to. Like I said, it took me a little while to get into this game, and even after I did, I can't say it's anything more than a game that simply checked all the boxes it was supposed to, and that's about it. Hey, thanks for watching this review. Hit the thumbs up, like, sub, follow the Twitter, and maybe even stop by my Twitch channel where you can see me play games like this live and more. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.